Hey there, it's Marianne from Thrive Admin Services. In this video, I am explaining the difference between OneDrive for Business on the web and OneDrive for Business on your desktop for PC or Mac. I'm showing you how I use the link between the two to make sure that I'm always working with the current version of a document, spreadsheet or presentation, no matter where I am and no matter which device I am on. So let's get started. So to start with, I'm going to show you how I access all of my Word documents, Excel documents, PowerPoints using OneDrive for Business on the web. And this is the first way that you can access things, and you can be sure that you are only dealing with the web version. So to do that, we head to office.com in our web browser. Now I'm working on a Mac on Google Chrome. So if you work on a slightly different, any variants on that, it may look a little bit different for you. Because we're working on the web, what happens inside the window should look the same for you, but it will be the buttons at the top that look a little different. So, office.com, we're in our main Office page, and I'm going to head to the app launcher at the top here, and I have OneDrive here. You may not have it up here, so you can go to All Apps, and they're in alphabetical order, and you will find it here. It's going to open a new window, and in that or a new tab, and in that new tab you'll have all of your files. Now here you'll notice mine will look a little bit different to yours potentially. I've got a lot of linked document folders that link to my SharePoint sites. But the ones we're going to work with are some direct documents that I have in my OneDrive folder. Now here we're working in OneDrive on the web, and I have Document 1 and Document 2. If I was to click on Document and I open it up, it's opening in a new tab in my web browser. So you can see that this is just a test document that I play around with for some of these videos. And it's got some standard text in it, and I'm working in it in Word on the web. So it's opened it through a SharePoint site, and it's layouts, and it's a document. So it's got its own particular URL for this document. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some additional text so that we can see what's happening here. We put this text was added using Word on the web. Okay, so it's saving. You can see up here it's saving the document. It has saved it. I'm going to close that. I am going to close, and you can see if I was to refresh this page now, it is showing if I go down to my document, it was edited a few seconds ago because I literally just worked on it. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to shrink that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Finder window. So this is the option again, so we've worked with it on the web, it's saved it, and the file is now saved in my OneDrive on the web. I can access it another way, and I can view it locally. And I find this really useful when I'm doing things like working in large complex spreadsheets that I need to move across and freeze panes and jump around. If I want to be comparing two documents together rather than having two tabs open, I would rather have two full documents open locally. If I want to use some of the additional features, so Word on the web and Excel on the web will not always have all of the functionality. So for me, I like having the full functionality, and I like the interface of working in the local desktop version of Word particularly, but also with PowerPoint and Excel. So what I do here is I have set up my OneDrive, and you can see it's got exactly the same documents, and this one has been tinkered with just before. So this is the same OneDrive that I have on the web. And so at the moment, the way for a Mac user, my OneDrive icon is up here in the ribbon at the top. If you're a PC user, I think it sits down the bottom where you find your volume and your Bluetooth connection, your Wi-Fi information. It'll be in that little menu bar. So when you add a OneDrive account to your local machine or to your desktop or your laptop, you're actually adding it as an app on the machine. And the settings give you an option now. Obviously, this is the Mac interface for this. So if you're on a PC, it will look slightly different. But it gives you these two options for files on demand. And it's under your preferences, or might be under your general settings on a PC option. And what it does is it gives you these options that you can do. It downloads the files you use and then frees up disk space with those you don't. So you can have files sitting in your OneDrive that you're not pulling down all the time, or you can have all of your OneDrive files pulled down onto your local drive. And you can see based on my OneDrive files, at the moment that would use up 21.8 gig of my disk space. And it always keeps them on the device, so they're always available locally. I don't use that. I use this download files as you use them. And that's why you'll see there's these little icons here. So you can see if I hover my mouse and then it's not downloaded, that one's not downloaded, but these ones are. So if I do this, it's actually downloading them, but it will sync this way so I can watch what's happening here. So from my OneDrive app, which is the way I can access it here, I can view them online, which opens up that same folder again that we were just in. Or I can view them here, it goes open folder. If I close this one and I go open folder, that's what it opens again. So it literally, it's a direct connection, and it's the same folder. It's just that there's a link sitting on my local drive and then there's a web option, but they're identical. It's the same space. My OneDrive for Business is holding the same space in the OneDrive app sitting in my Office account. What we're doing is on the local level, I've got a direct connection to that. So as an example, if I open that document we just worked on before, so that was this one, you can see we've got this text was added using Word on the Web. This is the text I added from the desktop. And I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to change the font. I'll make it this one and I'm going to make it much bigger. Okay, so you can see now I'm working in the desktop version. We save it and what you'll see will happen, it's saved. I can close it. If I now go back to so you can see it's doing this little link here, which means it's syncing everything up with OneDrive. So it's taking this one that's sitting here and it is now syncing it to OneDrive. Up here, the little icon has the cog going as well, which means it's syncing as well. And you can see it's processing changes. So it's thinking. So it's reviewing the document. It's reviewing all of my downloaded content and checking that nothing needs to be updated. So you can see we downloaded it and now it's uploaded again. And it's doing that automatically. I don't have to manually put anything in any folder. It's happening automatically for me. So if I now go back to my, oops, wrong page, sorry. I've got too many tabs open today. This one, my files on OneDrive, and we go back, you can see this has been done a few seconds ago. If I open it now on the web, look at that. So it's the same document. I'm working in it in real time on the desktop and on my laptop, on the web. It's entirely a user preference as to whether you work on the web or on the desktop. I find though, this means I don't have to do another backup. So working with files this way means that I'm working locally all the time, but it's saved. And if I then wanted to use my laptop while I was at a cafe, or I was with a client in a meeting and I needed to open a document or a report we were working on, or if I am on a plane or, traveling somewhere and I'm logging in separately. If it's on my phone, if I've got OneDrive on my phone, I can open the files there. If it's on my laptop, if it's on my desktop, it's all the same. I'm always touching the same document in different forms. It also means if I save the file to OneDrive and have shared that file link, and you will have seen I've done other videos about that if I wanted to share it and I was sharing this link. So if we copy this link, if I've given this link to anybody else and they're working on it, they'll see my real-time changes if they click on that link. So they're always accessing the live document as well. And that is why OneDrive as a local drive works for me. But I hope that's clarified what that looks like and how it actually works between the local system and the web version. So I hope that helped you to see the difference between accessing your OneDrive files on the web and accessing them on the desktop, and what that means when you work in one or the other. Again, it's purely personal preference as to whether you choose to use the web version or the desktop version. If you are looking to get started with OneDrive for Business and you are having any issues with getting set up, then there will be some links in the notes on this video to help walk you through that. And if you would like a more personalized option, you can get in touch with me and I will be able to give you a hand directly. You'll find me at thriveadmin.com, or I'm hanging out on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Just search for Thrive Admin Services. Have a great day.